It's the final round of the new-look Champions League, and we've reached Matchday 8 with lots to still be decided with who moves on into the automatic top 8 qualifiers, who goes to the playoff round in places 9 to 24, and who goes home with some big names still on the bubble in this last Matchday. All games will be played on Wednesday, January 29th, all of them at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, so it'll be pretty chaotic for 2 hours on Wednesday afternoon. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the games, of which I'm going to pick out 9 to include in 3 different parlays for this week's Champions League predictions. If you find this info helpful and want more, be sure to give the video a like. You can subscribe to the channel or also become a channel member as well for even more. So let's go parlay number 1, and this could be one of the most exciting games. Barcelona and Atalanta. Barca second amongst all the teams, 6-0-1, 3 points back of first. Liverpool comfortably qualified as a top 8 team, so perhaps they don't go all in here. Barca's piled up the most goals with 26, also giving up 11. Combine that, and Barca's games have been goal fest, averaging 5.3 goals per game. That's easily the most of anyone of any team so far. Atalanta is 7th, 4-2-1, 14 points. They'll be advancing, but could easily drop out of the top 8 with a loss. Ladia scored the 4th most goals with 18. They've only given up 4 in the 7 games, though. Barca was just in a wild 5-4 win last week with Benfica before routing Valencia 7-1 this weekend. They're undefeated in 7, outscoring opponents 29-9 in that time. But then the both teams to score has hit in each of their last 5. After 5 games winless, Atalanta has now won 5-0 and 2-1. They'll need this more. Retegui is in great form. He's got 5 goals in 4 games, but then Adamano Lukman is out injured. You'd always expect Barca to score. They're likely going to concede. You'd think Atalanta needing to get the win, probably will be attacking a lot in this game. This will be the first ever meeting between these teams, and I would think it should be a good one. Both teams to score is heavily expected at Caesars at minus 260 odds. Even the both teams to score over 2.5, minus 175. So we will have to get creative here and add some more legs into this parlay. We'll go both teams to score over 2.5. Barca, Atalanta. Next up, Stuttgart from Germany and PSG from France. Both of these teams currently in the playoff round, but just barely. Stuttgart in the final spot, 24th, 3-1-3, 10 points. PSG 22nd, 3-1-3, also with 10 points. Stuttgart started 2025 with 4 straight wins. Won 3-1 in the Champions League last week, and then lost 2-0 away to Mainz this weekend. Stuttgart have given up a goal in 6 of 7 Champions League games. They've scored and also scored a goal in 6 of 7 as well. I don't see them keeping PSG, a much stronger team, off the score sheet here. PSG just won 4-2 over Man City last week. They're undefeated in 12. They've scored a goal in 11 of those games. It could be a PSG win to me, perhaps both teams to score, or simply getting both PSG just to simply score over 0.5 goals is a very safe option for this parlay. And finally, a very simple option here. Bayer Leverkusen, Sparta Prague. Leverkusen 8th, but just barely 4-1-2, 13 points. That's 5. There are 5 more teams that also have 13 points, so anything other than a win could very likely see them slip out of that top 8 spot. Meanwhile, Sparta eliminated 29th. They're 1-1-5. They've been outscored 19-7. Leverkusen had won 11 straight before losing to Atleti 2-1 last week, then drawing Leipzig 2-2 this weekend. Knowing they need the points to secure the top 8 spot, this should be a straightforward win. You'd think they can score 2 or 3 goals. For the parlay, simply Leverkusen to win is good enough. A few different options here. You could go Barcelona, Atalanta, both teams to score. PSG to score, Leverkusen over 1.5 goals. I see that at plus 107 for that parlay. Or Leverkusen to win, minus 104. For what I think could be the best odds of all in this combination. Barca, Atalanta, both teams to score, over 2.5. PSG to score, Bayer Leverkusen to win, plus 121 odds. I'll summarize all of these picks in the graphic at the end of this video, so you can check those out as well. Now let's go into a second parlay here. It's Manchester City, Club Brugge. Hands up if you thought this match would be, at this point in this tournament, you'd see Club Brugge clinging to the playoff spot and Man City at risk of not advancing at all. I can't imagine there's too many hands up right now. Brugge are 20th at 3-2-2, and they have played lower scoring games, scoring just 6 and allowing just 8. Man City, if the round ended today, would be going home, sitting in 25th spot at 2-2-3 with just 8 points, 2 points back of the 4 teams with 10 points. They need a win to advance. Brugge just need a draw. City's new players, Marmoush, Kushanov, and Reyes, aren't available to play here yet. City blew a 2-goal lead to PSG last week and then lost and ended up losing 4-2 before beating Chelsea 3-1 this weekend. Meanwhile, Bruges, still clearly the underdogs, are unbeaten in 20 games across all competitions. It would be shocking if City lost here. They put up plenty of shocking results of late, so I'm just going to ask for over 2.5 goals in this game, just in case it's a big Man City win or we get a crazy shootout. Before Bruges' recent 0-0 and 1-1 draws, there had been 3 or more goals in 10 of their last 11. We'll go over 2.5 goals. Next up, Girona and Arsenal. Girona has been poor in the Champions League. They're 1-0-6, 31st with 3 points, and they have been eliminated. They've allowed 11 while scoring just 3. The Gunners are third, 16 points, 5-1-1, and have outscored opponents 14-2. You would certainly expect Arsenal to get the win here. It's not a bad option to throw into the parlay. They also, though, could be out Odegaard and Marino, plus long-term injuries to Saka and Jesus. They also likely don't need the win to advance, so let's simply ask them to score to slightly improve this parlay. Girona have conceded in 6 of 8 and 5 goals in their last 3 games, with only 2 wins in 11. Arsenal to score, leg 2 of this parlay. And to round it out, we'll go to Lille and Feyenoord. Lille look to be moving on, but will it be into the automatic playoff spots or into the playoff round? They're 12th, 4-1-2, 13 points. That's the same amount as 8th place Leverkusen, but 6 teams all have 13, and they and Brest have the worst goal difference of the bunch. Feyenoord is another of those 13-point teams, 4-1-2, while both scoring a ton and allowing a ton, with 17 goals scored and 15 allowed. That makes their games the 3rd highest scoring in the Champions League, 4.6 goals per game. Lille has had a solid campaign. They have losses in Matchday 1 and Matchday 7, but they've been undefeated in the games in between that. They have conceded in 6 of 7. They've scored in 6 of 7. The both teams' scores hit in each of their last 5 in this tournament. While they had a long run of 21 games undefeated in all competitions, they've now lost back-to-back 2-1 games. Feyenoord, meanwhile, in all competitions are undefeated in 3. They have only 2 losses in 13 and just 4 losses in 23. That includes an impressive 3-0 road defeat of Bayern Munich last week. Only once in 15 games have they not scored, while last game's 3-0 win is their only clean sheet, though, in 11 games. So for me, this looks like a great both teams to score game to round out the parlay. Lille and Feyenoord both to score. Arsenal to score. Man City, Club Brugge over 2.5 to get plus 153 odds. And now we'll do one more 3-game parlay here. 2 teams that look pretty heavily favored to win, and another where we'll just ask for them to get on the score sheet. Let's go to Brest and Real Madrid. Brest have been a surprise in the Champions League, 4-1-2 and 13th. They're moving on, and an upset over Los Blancos could even see them finish in the top 8. A Real Madrid win could also see them jump from 16th to potentially a top 8 spot, but they would need plenty of other results to go their way to make that happen. At one point, Madrid looked like they might not even move on. That advancing is now secured for them, though, but surely they'll want to get even more out of this opening stage. Brest have only 2 defeats in 9, winning 7, but then they lost 2-0 to Shakhtar last week, and they'll meet a team in even better form as Madrid, save for a Super Cup loss to Barca, are 11, 1-1, and 13, and have scored 3 or more goals in 11 of those 13 games. Vinicius is suspended, but Los Blancos are rolling right now, and so is Mbappe, who had a hat-trick this weekend. Madrid should win, and they likely should score 2 or more goals, something they've done in 13 straight games. I'll simply ask for them to win, and if they do go up, with this bet being made at Bet365, if they do go up by 2, I'll just get that early auto payout win. Similar approach here with another Madrid team. It's Atleti going to Salzburg. Salzburg are out. They looked out last week, losing 5-1 to Real Madrid. They're 1-0-6, been outscored 23-4, and they're also a bit rusty here, being off during the winter break in their league. Atleti, currently in the top 8, they're 5th, 15 points, but could slip out with 5 teams below them in the top 8, all with 13 points, plus 8th place Leverkusen as well. Atleti's long 15-game winning streak has come to an end. They lost 1-0 to Leganes a few games back, but they bounced back in the Champions League last week, beating Leverkusen late 2-1, despite being down a man for most of that game. Speaking of, Pablo Barrios will be out with a suspension for this game. They then, after that, could only draw Villarreal 1-1 this weekend. While Barrios is out, the injured Alexander Solov was back on the bench this weekend, and the forward could possibly see some time this week, which would be a big boost to their offense as well. Let's go Atletico Madrid to win, and once again, on the money line at Bet365. If they get up by 2, we'll get that auto win early. Finally, to get this up and over, even money, we'll go to Juventus and Benfica. 17th Juve, 3-1, 12 points, hosting 21st Benfica, 3-1-3, 10 points. Juve can't drop out of the playoff spots, and they maybe can move into the top 8, Benfica will be worried about potentially dropping out of the top 24 entirely. Juve's defense in the Champions League has been airtight, giving up just 5 goals in 7 games, while they've scored 9. Benfica just gave up 5 in 1 game alone, losing 5-4 to Barcelona last week, and have given up 12 overall while scoring 14. This is a hard Juve team to trust. If you followed them all season, they just lost 2-1 to Napoli this weekend. They only have 1 win in 7. You'd be rich if you just blindly close your eyes and bet on draws for Juve games, something they've now done in 4 of 7 and also 12 of 20. Just once in 13 games have they not scored, but then the both teams to score bet has cashed in 6 of their last 8. So this could be a great both teams to score bet, with Benfica scoring in 10 of their last 11. They've also been outscored 8-5 in their last 2. After losing to Casapia this weekend 3-1. So I'm going to simply bet Juve to score, but certainly a both teams to score bet or a draw, not out of the question either. We'll go Juve to score paired with the Atletico Madrid win, the Real Madrid win to come in at plus 137 odds. Now those are my Champions League best bets across 9 different games on Wednesday. What are yours? Let me know down there in the comments. Give this video a like on the way out if this info was helpful, and be sure to stay tuned for more Europa League picks later this week as well.